Now we'll start with the concept of relation. Okay. So we'll start with the concept of relations. Now, when we say relations, now what is a relation? We start with the basics of what is a relation. Okay. Now here, suppose let's say we have, okay, let's look at the family. All right. So here, let's say we have, let's say family one. Say this is family two. Okay. Here we have A, B, C, D. And let's say we have here A, B, C. Now we can tell that maybe small letter A, he is the brother of B. Okay. And let's say that once you have A is the brother of B, then we can say that C is related to C, D is also related to C. Okay. In the sense, it's more like family, correct? So here, what we are trying to find a relation? We are trying to find a relation between two sets, isn't it? Set 1 is one family, set 2, that is F2 is another family, F1 and F2. Now, if you say that A is the brother of B, capital letter B, so maybe the kids of A and the kid of B, they are related to each other. Like, they're first cousins, correct? So here there is a relation between two sets, isn't it? So we can say that here A is related to B, is related to B. In which two sets? In sets F1 and F2, correct? So a relation is always between two sets, isn't it? Now, there could be multiple sets. Like suppose if I say take another family F3, A can also be related to some other person in the third family, isn't it? So like this, we can have multiple relation between multiple sets. Like here, both C and D are related to C, correct? So it can be something like C is the brother of C and D is the sister of C. There is a relation between them. Now, in this case, once we have a relation between two sets, there are different types of relation. Okay, different types. Now, mainly we classify, like a broad classification into two categories. Okay, let's look into what are those two categories. All right. The first category or the first type of relation, so we name them as trivial relations. And the next one is a non-trivial relation. Okay, non-trivial relation. Now, within trivial relation, there are two types. One is called as empty relation. Another one is called as universal relation. So these are generally what we call as trivial relations. Understood? Now, within the non-trivial ones, there are again three types. Okay, so generally we don't call it as non-trivial. We just say the types of relation. Now, under non-trivial ones, we have again three categories. Maybe I can just write it to you here. All right, so those three, the first one is what we call as a reflexive. The next one is called symmetric. And the next one is called equivalence. So these are the three: reflexive, symmetric, and equivalence relation. Now we'll discuss about the non-trivial ones in detail in the upcoming videos. But right now we'll look into what are these trivial relations. So trivial relations is for just one single set. There are no two sets. Like you don't have family 1 and family 2. It's just one particular set. Let's say set A is present. Now here we are going to understand the relation within the set. Okay, like if you have one family, Then we have siblings, correct? One brother, one sister. So we have relation within the set. So this is what we mean by trivial relation. So when we say there is an empty relation, and once we say there is a universal relation, then both of these two relations are based on one single set. All right, so let's quickly discuss what is what. Suppose, let's say we have some element. Okay, so assume that we have some element A which belongs to set A. Okay, if there is no relation with respect to A, if there is no relation with respect to A which belongs to the set A cross A, then we say that this relation is an empty relation. Understood? This relation is an empty relation. So, what we mean by this one now? Okay, let's assume we have some value, right? So, let's take an example and do it. Suppose, say we have one set. Let's say the set is going to be, let's say A is equal to 1, 3, 5, 7. Some number is there. So, I'm going to define a relation R such that, so we have, let's say, sum is equal to an odd number. Sorry, sum is equal to an odd number such that sum is equal to A. Sorry, sum is equal to, here we can say sum is equal to A plus A, where A belongs to A. That means what are we doing? So what we are doing is we are taking sum of sum to be an odd number, and those odd numbers or whatever I'm taking, the sum I'm taking it to be A plus A, and this A belongs to this set A. Look at the numbers 1, 3, 5, 7. Add any number. Are you going to get an odd number? No, right? So this relation R is an empty relation because there are no elements within this particular value or in this particular set of relation. Now, this is how we define an empty relation. So, an empty relation is that relation where the number which belongs to the particular set, now that has no relationship whatsoever. Okay, there is no relation whatsoever. That is basically an empty relation. Now, likewise, if we look at our universal relation, so here every element is related to one another. Like suppose if I take the same example here, okay, same example, I'll just change it a little bit if you look at it. Okay, again, A is the same. I'll name it as R1. R1 is equal to sum is an even number such that sum is equal to A plus B, where A and B belongs to A. Now here we did A plus A, that's basically 2A, isn't it? But here when you say A and B, both A and B are two different numbers. Like it could be something like 1 plus 5, or it could be 7 plus 3, 3 plus 1, whatever it is. Basically here, this relation is like, it has everything, correct? Now R becomes a universal relation because every element within the set is related to itself. And also it is related to every other element. So in this case, R1, this is what we call as universal relation. Universal relation. So one is we have empty relation where no elements are there. One we have universal relation where we have all the elements. All right. So these are two trivial relations. Now, what are those non-trivial ones? Reflexive symmetric equivalence, what are those? We'll look into those things in the next video.